Have you ever wondered how Nostradamus, a 16th century apothecary, could predict events hundreds of years into the future? Michel de Nostradam, more commonly known as Nostradamus, was not just an ordinary apothecary. Born in France in the early 16th century, he was a man of many talents. He was a reputed physician, astrologer, and most notably, a seer who is said to have foreseen major events that would occur hundreds of years after his time. His method of prophecy was as intriguing as the man himself. Nostradamus wrote his predictions in quatrains, 4-line verses. These were then compiled into centuries, books each containing 100 quatrains. The language he used was a cryptic blend of French, Latin, and Greek, interspersed with mythical and astronomical references. This use of language and symbolism made his writings all the more mysterious and open to interpretation. Among his many predictions, some stand out for their eerie accuracy. One of the most famous is the rise of a man named Heister, a term closely resembling Hitler. Nostradamus wrote, "From the depths of the west of Europe, a young child will be born of poor people. He who by his tongue will seduce a great troop. His fame will increase towards the realm of the East." Many believe this quatrain predicted the rise of Adolf Hitler, born of modest means in Western Europe, who led by his powerful speeches and whose influence reached the East. Nostradamus also seemingly predicted the French Revolution. He wrote about the enslaved populace, songs, chants, and demands, and princes and lords are held captive in prisons. These words eerily echo the social unrest and the imprisonment of the French monarchy during the Revolution. So, how could a man from the 1500s predict events hundreds of years later? Perhaps the answer lies within the cryptic quatrains he left behind. Thus, the Enigma of Nostradamus continues to captivate us as we delve deeper into his cryptic verses, seeking answers to the mysteries of the past, present, and future. Nostradamus's first set of predictions were published in 1555 in a book known as Les Prophéties. This book, which would later become his magnum opus, contained 1,000 quatrains or 4-line poems that hinted at future events. The quatrains were divided into 10 centuries, or chapters, each containing 100 quatrains. One of Nostradamus's most famous early predictions was the death of Henry II of France. In a chilling quatrain, Nostradamus wrote, "The young lion will overcome the older one in the field of combat in a single battle. He will pierce his eyes through a golden cage, 2 wounds made one, then he dies a cruel death." Now, historians argue that this is an uncanny foreshadowing of King Henry's tragic death in a jousting match in 1559, where a splinter from a lance pierced his eye and he died of septicemia days later. However, Nostradamus's predictions were often shrouded in ambiguity. The cryptic language and metaphorical imagery left a lot open to interpretation. This vagueness was perhaps intentional, as Nostradamus was living in an era of religious persecution and had to veil his predictions in enigmatic verses to avoid the wrath of the church. Yet, this vagueness is also what sparked intense debate among scholars. Some believe that Nostradamus's quatrains have been misinterpreted and mistranslated, leading to false attributions. Others argue that the vague nature of his predictions allowed them to be molded to fit any event, reducing their prophetic value. Despite these debates, there's no denying the enduring allure of Nostradamus's prophecies. His early predictions especially have been scrutinized and analyzed for centuries, with people finding correlations in major historical events. The ambiguity of his early predictions only added to the mystery and intrigue surrounding Nostradamus. As Nostradamus aged, his predictions became even more ominous and cryptic. His quatrains, 4-line verses, remained shrouded in mystery until the events they prophesied came to pass. One of the most notable predictions from his later years is the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte. In Century 1, Quatrain 60, Nostradamus wrote, "An emperor will be born near Italy." Napoleon, born in Corsica close to Italy, rose to become the emperor of the French, drastically altering the course of European history. Similarly, Nostradamus's quatrains also seemed to foretell the emergence of Adolf Hitler. In Century 2, Quatrain 24, he referred to a beast from the east who would cause great destruction. Hitler, hailing from Austria in the east, fits this ominous prediction. His reign as the Führer of Nazi Germany led to the devastating Second World War and the Holocaust. Nostradamus's prophecies also hinted at the catastrophic bombing of Hiroshima. In Century 2, Quatrain 6, He wrote of a new city experiencing a great scourge. The horrific atomic bombings of Hiroshima, a relatively new city in the grand scope of history, indeed brought a great scourge upon its people. Lastly, many believe that Nostradamus predicted the tragic events of September 11th. In Century 10, Quatrain 72, he wrote of fire from the sky and the city of York experiencing a great calamity. The Twin Towers, located in New York, were indeed struck down by fire from the sky, causing an unspeakable disaster. It is important to note, however, that these interpretations of Nostradamus's quatrains are made with the benefit of hindsight. His cryptic verses were only understood as prophecies after the events took place. This leads many to question the validity of his prophetic abilities, sparking heated debates among scholars and enthusiasts alike. Nostradamus's later predictions serve as a chilling reminder of the potential power of prophecy. His cryptic quatrains, filled with ominous forewarnings, continue to fascinate and terrify us, even centuries after his death. Not everyone believes in the prophetic abilities of Nostradamus. As fascinating as his predictions may seem, there is a significant amount of skepticism and controversy surrounding his supposed clairvoyance. Many critics argue that Nostradamus's predictions are not so much prophecies, as they are vague, poetic quatrains open to wide-ranging interpretations. His writings, originally penned in Old French, have been translated into numerous languages over the centuries. This has led some scholars to believe that the supposed prophecies are merely the result of misinterpretations and mistranslations. For instance, Nostradamus's prediction of a great fire could refer to anything from a simple house fire to a catastrophic nuclear war, depending on who's doing the interpreting. This vagueness and ambiguity, critics argue, make it easy for people to fit events into his prophecies after they've happened, a phenomenon known as retroactive clairvoyance. Furthermore, some skeptics argue that Nostradamus's predictions are self-fulfilling prophecies. This means that because people believe they will happen, they subconsciously make decisions that cause these events to transpire. For example, if someone believes a prophecy that predicts a great war, they might act in ways that inadvertently lead to conflict, thus fulfilling the prophecy. But it's not just the skeptics who have doubts. Even some of Nostradamus's staunchest supporters admit that his work is challenging to interpret and that many of his predictions remain unsolved puzzles. They argue that the true meanings of his quatrains may only become clear when the events they foretell actually occur. Despite these controversies, Nostradamus continues to capture our collective imagination. His predictions have been examined and re-examined by countless individuals and groups, each with their own interpretations and theories. Even today, his work continues to inspire books, movies, and even video games, attesting to his enduring influence. Regardless of whether you believe in Nostradamus's predictions, there's no denying the impact he's had on the world. His legacy is not just about whether his prophecies hold true, but also about the conversations, debates, and ideas his work continues to spark centuries after his death. Nostradamus made many predictions about the future, some of which are yet to come true. As we pivot our gaze to the horizon of the unknown, it's impossible not to ponder on the prophecies of Nostradamus that remain unfulfilled. Among the most chilling of these is the potential end of the world, a grim forecast that Nostradamus hinted at with his cryptic quatrains. The mystic seer spoke of a great trembling and the world nearing its last period. But, as with all his predictions, the specifics are shrouded in mystery, leaving us with more questions than answers. In this journey through the Enigma of Nostradamus, we've unpacked the early and later predictions of this infamous prophet. From the rise of tyrants to the fall of empires, his words have echoed through the annals of history. His predictions, while controversial, have sparked endless debates and captivated the minds of millions around the globe. We've also delved into the controversy surrounding Nostradamus. Was he a true seer, gifted with precognition, or simply a clever wordsmith whose vague prophecies could be interpreted in countless ways? This question has been the crux of countless debates and discussions, underlining the enduring fascination with his life and works. Nostradamus's impact on popular culture is undeniable. His prophecies have influenced books, films, and even video games, underscoring our collective fascination with the unknown. His quatrains have been dissected and analyzed, serving as a testament to our inherent desire to understand the future and our place in it. The legacy of Nostradamus is a tapestry woven with threads of mystery, intrigue, and speculation. His prophetic verses, though cryptic and open to interpretation, have left an indelible mark on our collective consciousness. They serve as a reminder of our insatiable curiosity, our yearning to decipher the unknown, and our quest to understand our destiny. Whether you believe in his prophetic abilities or not, Nostradamus's enigmatic quatrains continue to captivate us. As we look into the future, one can't help but wonder, what else did Nostradamus predict?